Okay, this three-part reunion was quite interesting. Biggest takeaway for me is Julia, you're sickening and you might need therapy. You might need therapy 3, 4 times a week. Something wrong with you, like for real.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. I'm really late on my reviews. Full disclosure, had a lot of family stuff going on. Life has definitely been lifing, so I'm late on all my reviews. I apologize. The Miami one, though, I did want to wait till I got to the third part. So let's get into it. So, The Real Housewives of Miami, season 7. I'm gonna do reunions 1 through 3. So let's get with part one. So part one opens how all the housewife reunions open with them getting ready backstage. The reason I'm bringing this up is because Andy, of course, visits all the women, and then we show them in there, getting ready, and they show Julia. Julia in there getting her hair and makeup done, tearing up. This was a very difficult season for me. It was. You know what's funny about her? This bitch is crazy. She is setting up the victimhood early, already with the tears. They ain't even got to the stage yet, and you already crying. You know, because of all the bullshit that you did this season. And of course, she references the backlash in the dressing room before the reunion and obviously on stage. Yeah, you feeling some type of way because everyone is seeing through your bullshit. Your behavior this season was deplorable. Absolutely deplorable. So anyway, we get on stage. Everybody looked great. I don't know who my favorite dress was, but you know how Miami is. They be spicing it up with the different textiles, colors, silhouettes, the whole nine. But everybody looked good, as good as could be. They look good. Um, so we learn that Todd and Alexia are now divorced. They don't speak at all anymore. The ladies trash him a little bit. Um, it's hard for me to take Marisol's opinion of anybody's mates, of anyone. I don't know. Marisol, girl, I just feel like I just don't think you're a nice person deep down. You don't give me nice energy. And it was very obvious that you did not like Stephanie and you played in her face all season. And what's funny, Alexia works my nerves a little bit too, but I'll give Alexia this. She will own being an asshole in the moment. I mean, she did it a few times this reunion where I was like, very cringy behavior, but she did stand in it. I got to give her that. She didn't play in our face. Marisol, you talk shit about people behind their back. You look down on them. And can we talk about how they mention it in part one, part two, and part three about Marisol hiring a private investigator? If you guys remember when this show came back at the first reunion, when it came back, I think it was either Larsa or Nicole that alluded to the PI. And the PI also looked up Julia because there were rumors about her hooking up with some dude in New York, right? Allegedly. Don't let it be the Regency child. Um, in front of everyone at the Regency, Todd. How could you? Anyway, not Todd, Mark. What was it? Luann's husband's name, Mark. I was trying to do a reference and I ruined it because I messed up the name. But if you know, you know. Anyway, I'm digressing, but I just wanted to point that out. It's just Marisol is you're fake. And what I realized, the draw to you being on the show was never you, it was your mother. Anyway, so we get into the package about Stephanie. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I like Stephanie. She is a little annoying. She's definitely braggadocious, but I do think she has a fiery kind of personality. She's definitely a type A, and I think she can hang with the ladies, and I think she could bring a lot to the show. I definitely expect to see her back next season. I think she was a good addition. You know what I mean? Love her, hate her. She was good TV. And she could stand against Marisol and Alexia, which people seem to cower to, which I don't understand that. But anyway, so we do that. We get into Gertie and Julia. This whole situation, this whole part sickened me. It sickened me because everybody wants to be apologetic now. And oh, I should have said something. Alexia says that at one point. I should have said something in the moment and da 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 da. You're only saying that now because y'all asses got dragged by the fans because you know you were wrong. Here's the reality. You guys don't like Gertie like that. You don't care about her like that. That's why it didn't matter that Julia was going at her, threw water at her, being very aggressive, very ratchet, because that was the most ratchet shit I seen all season on this damn season. She was the most ratchet one, gutter snipe. I think I called her that in my first review. Ratchet gutter snipe. That's who's ratchet. What bothers me is Gertie even owns the party stuff with the text messaging and why she did that because she felt like she was being attacked. And this is why I think Julia is a low down monkey with a wig on, a low down dirty monkey with a wig on, because Julia, it is very obvious that you're doing some fucked up shit behind your wife's back, which we later learned to be true. I'll get to that in a minute. But you are doing underhanded things, and instead of owning it or doing something else, or maybe just not doing it, you want to put it on somebody else. So in this situation was Gertie. You bring up the cruise shit, which really had nothing to do with anything. The deeper we get into the story, that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. Because you threw your homegirl, who was your ally from day one, Adriana, under the bus as well. Like, you're trash. You are trash. And for her to give that fake ass, I'm really sorry that I was in a bad place and I sincerely apologize. She says it one more time. Gertie's face was like, for me, Gertie is the epitome of class, pure class, because she handled herself so well in the moment. Even with the text message shit, I don't care how you feel about that. She handled herself well. She handled herself against these other ladies, and she read them down for filth and called them out for their fucking hypocritical ass behavior, talking shit about her and hazing her after the whole incident with the drink. Can you imagine if the situation had been the other way around? They would have crucified Gertie. But Julia got the complexion for the protection, so she walks away scot free. See, everybody falls for her bullshit, this damsel in distress act, when in reality you just a hoe. You a clout chasing ass, climb my way to the top without doing any type of hard work ass hoe. Julia, I clocked you. You a old hoe too. And the last resort was adopting those kids. I fucking said it. I've read this comment a few times, but it's very obvious that there's something going on in the Julia Martina household, which we later learn when Adriana spills all her tea. But I just find it convenient that you adopt these two little boys. It seems like an attempt to save your marriage. That's the vibe that I got. Or to secure the bag. Because we almost in our 50s still trying to secure bags instead of working hard. I don't know. It pisses me off. And you know what's funny? All those women that judged Gertie, y'all are just jealous because Gertie is successful. She's beautiful. She has a great family, and she has a man that loves her unconditionally and has loved her for a very long time. None of you bitches have that. Okay, so at this point, we learned that Lisa and Lenny are officially divorced as well. We knew it on the show, but Andy had to announce it again. And he asked them how co-parenting is. She says at that point, it's not. Fix this. We're a little crooked there. Anyway, she says that it's as of the moment not going well. It's an off and on thing. I think dealing with somebody like Lenny, I think Lisa's gonna have issues with him for a while. It's just personality, is the way that he is. Whatever. Um, so when they're talking about that, Lisa and Lenny had their kids via surrogacy. Andy's so messy. So Andy brings up what Martina had said on Twitter, talking about how basically surrogacy is not normal, and if you can't, sometimes you just can't have what you want, or some insensitive ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could say the same thing about adopting. You know what I mean? And Martina, did you forget where you live in America, girl? Like, you're a you know how hard it was for lesbians and gay couples to be able to have children, and for you to make that kind of comment, like, fuck you. Fuck you. And Julia, you deserve her. You deserve her. I love this. So anyway, Andy asked Julia about that, and of course she's like, I didn't agree with it, and Martina did take it down. She never said that she didn't take back what she said. She meant that shit. She took it down, for optics, but she meant it. So anyway, while they were talking about that, somebody brings up the whole Godfather thing because Julia had that ceremony in was in Marbella, Spain, and they ask Julia, was what about Adriana? Had you thought about her being a godparent to the boys? And she was like, no, that we know that's a lie. So Adriana was like, wow, that's like a dagger to my heart. And she goes, I wouldn't have guessed that. So that's when their package starts running about their crumbling friendship and how Julia jumped ship. She's trying to be cool with the cool girls. She want to be friends with the cool girls. So Adriana, they show the package, they come back from it, and they talk about the disconnect between them. And Adriana basically is like, I don't know what changed. She changed. I've been the same. She's the one that changed. And this is when Julia starts spinning bullshit. This is the moment when I knew that Julia was something was wrong upstairs. She proceeds to tell everybody that the real reason that her and Adriana had a disconnect in their friendship, and while she leaned more toward Marisol and Alexia, is because she says when the show first came back, that first cash trip to the Hamptons, her and Adriana slept together. And everybody's like, "What?" So Adriana starts laughing because it sounds ridiculous. So of course, they're going back and showing scenes of them when they were picking the rooms. Adriana was a little tipsy in the bathtub, but it's so funny when you watch that scene. Julia, you were right along with it. You were enjoying it, letting her feed you and shit. She's like, we slept together and she held that over me. And I've been living in a psychological horror and she was going to blackmail me. Girl, so everyone's like, wow. And of course, Larsa, you guys need to quit. Let her talk like she's lying. Even Andy was looking at her like, bitch, are you crazy? Are you okay? She talks about how her and so Adriana's like, you and your wife were in a dark place. I was your friend. And now you're saying all of this. And she's like, it is true. We were in a dark place. But I felt like she was blackmailing me. Blackmailing. So Andy's like, so you felt like because you and her slept together that she was going to blackmail you by telling all these ladies your business and your wife. And she's like, yes. So Adriana is like, you know what? You ain't shit. You've been cheating on your wife this whole time. Let's talk about the Haitian mortician where you had to pay for everything and buy homeboy a coffee maker. I fell out. Because she's not lying. Like, she's not making that shit up. It's them type of silly details to let you know that the truth is crazier than fiction sometimes. She talks about her dating a cop, some other people. And what's funny is if you guys go back to the first season when this show came back, remember when Larsa, I've said it in a couple of my reviews, remember when Larsa was like, well, you were seen kissing these black guys at a bar. So Adriana's like, you stay sleeping around on your wife. You're a whore. You had to beg her. She left you. You had to beg her to come back. And she was like, you're a clout chaser. You just sleep around for money and to get ahead. And so, of course, that side of the couch is defending Julia. And Adriana is going in. Adriana ends up walking off the stage in disgust. She's pissed. Julia, what's crazy? She was your real friend because Marisol and Alexia are not friends to anybody except each other. And newsflash, barely each other. So this is what I meant by Julia needs therapy. Something is fundamentally wrong with. So of course they're backstage, and Julia is still spinning this fucking story to Alexia and Marisol and anybody willing to listen. I feel like they weren't buying it either. I don't think they were saying it, but it sounded ridiculous. So according to you, Julia, you had to walk on eggshells to be friends with Adriana because you were scared that she was going to tell everybody that y'all slept together on the Hamptons trip. Like, girl, make it make sense. You're a liar. You're a liar. And the reality is, because I'm done wasting energy on her stupid ass, it is very obvious that there's something really bad going on with you. I'm not surprised by any of the stuff that Adriana said about you being a hoe because you come off like a slore. You do. You seem, I said this to a friend of mine. Only a few people will get this. Julia reminds me of one of the chicks that will be doing one of those creepy Illuminati chair dances at an Illuminati weekly meeting or Bohemian Grove meeting. That's what she gives me. She's insane. You're girl, you crazy. And it's very obvious that you've been sleeping your way to the top just to make it to the middle. And now you quit the show. And I don't even think that was your choice. I think that was your wife's choice. I think you did that to save that marriage. I think you adopted them boys to save that marriage. You adopted them boys to save that marriage, just in case if you can't save the marriage, you can secure the bag. You're ridiculous, and I feel like there's way more to why your kids aren't talking to you. Way more to it, especially well now the one is and the other one isn't. It's just you seem like you're just full of lies and you can't tell the truth. And you threw Gertie under the bus. You threw Adriana under the bus. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. And I'm glad you quit the show. And I'm glad you're not coming back. Now, somebody go find out about them two little boys. Because I don't know. Part two to me was basically just Julia's stupid ass getting dragged. You came for Adriana and you got dragged. Um, it really funny. They had Adriana perform her song. I love my dog. I love my dog. I'm not a dog person. I love cats. I love my cats. I've always liked Adriana. She's always kept it 100. And you could tell she was really hurt by this Julia situation. Julia is not a friend to anybody. Anybody that's cool with her, if I was Marisol and Alexia, I'd be watching this going, you see how she did her homegirl? Lying, making shit. Because my thing is, for you to accuse somebody of blackmailing you, they could sue you. That's defamation of character. You're implying that she had you under her thumb for the past few years. That's crazy. Um. Anyway, we get into the whole wretched ratchet gate thing. I'm not going to get too deep into that. The reality is, Adriana, you called her ratchet. Kiki, I don't care because you didn't stand up for Gertie. So that's on you, girl. Good night. All right, so the third episode, part three. Part three was actually not bad. Part three kind of wrapped up everything. We get into the Lisa and Larsa of it all. They end up making up behind stage and have a real heart to heart, and Jody's there. I'm not a fan of Larsa at all, but again, I understood where she was coming from. I also understood Lisa where she was coming from. It's crazy that those two couldn't just effing communicate with each other, and this shit could have been resolved a long time ago. Because it was crazy to watch them backstage literally have probably a 20-minute conversation condensed to 2 or 3 minutes for us viewers. Where basically Larsa was like, he's been doing this, this, and this. Can you not follow him? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. And then you find out Jody's like, I haven't seen him in over a year. Pointless. Completely pointless. Um, we talk more about Stephanie's private plane, which I don't have the mental capacity to even get into. So we're gonna leave that. We do bring up Gertie again with her the remnants of dealing with cancer after going through it and chemo. I love Gertie. I gotta tell you something. Gertie, you look good bald, baby. I think that might be your ministry, girl, because you look fabulous bald. Um, I love her and Russell. Again, that's why they mad. They mad because they don't have that. They mad. Um, Julia, I don't even want to waste any more energy on you. You're pitiful. You're pitiful. And now you're coming out with all this. I have PTSD. And what, from the reunion? Because you got called out. You have PTSD from accountability? Is that what that is? We do get into the whole situation with Lisa and her dad passing and Alexia being super insensitive. And she actually continued with the super insensitivity on stage. It's funny. I bigged up Alexia earlier in this review for that behavior because she stands in it, but it still doesn't make it okay. I'm glad that you're able to be accountable for it, but like, what's the point? You know what I mean? And it's funny because imagine if someone had done that to her about Frankie. Like, okay, girl, okay. Um, in the same package, we kind of go over the whole Jody stuff. Lisa really stood up for herself, and I got to give it to her. She stood up for herself. She called out Alexia. She let Larsa know what's up, even though they're cool now because they had the powwow backstage. But Lisa, I got to give it up for Lisa this season. You're still late to everything, but you seem to be standing your ground more. And it probably took you going through that divorce and going up against Lenny to do that. I mean, you went up against your own Dr. Robotnik, girl. So good for you. I like Lisa. She's annoying sometimes, but I genuinely don't mind her. So anyway, in this part 3, we get into Mary. I want to talk about Marisol because Marisol was a huge takeaway for me this part 3. So in this part 3, part of the Adriana and Kiki package with the whole ratchet wretched thing, because Marisol in part 2 actually says to Adriana, well, I was trying to help you out of that. The whole I was telling you that ratchet sounded like wretched and so you wouldn't fuck with me for 2 years. Who says stuff like that? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Um, so Adriana, they talk about the old comment, basically when Kiki had put on her birthday cake the 32 times whatever minus 5 equals 59, whatever, child. I'm not good at math. Um but so they talk about that, and Kiki says that she was throwing shade basically because of what's her face calling her ratchet. And Adriana really has an issue with her age. She starts getting really upset. She cries again. You could tell it's real for her. She doesn't like it. Even when they were on the cruise ship, she was telling Gertie, like, I don't like celebrating my birthday. I don't like age shaming. I don't like growing old, blah, blah, blah. Well, she didn't say she didn't like age shaming, but she did. So they get up. I forget who goes over to, I think Gertie is hugging her. And then Marisol's like, oh, what are you kidding me? You were talking about I need to get surgery on my knees. This is what I mean by fake with Marisol. So Marisol says that. So Marisol is bringing up when they were on the cruise ship, and Adriana was like, "You were talking about my knees, and Adriana, you need to get your old bony knees done. You need to get surgery on her knees." It was mean. And here's what's funny. She's like, "You were age shaming me then, and now I'm getting surgery on my knees. Like, it made me feel self conscious." She's sitting there saying that comment made her feel self conscious. Meanwhile, your knees are displayed to the fucking world, girl. You got to slit up the side of your damn dress. Your legs are crossing, your knees are exposed. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're not self conscious. She's just, I don't know, Marisol. You really rubbed me the wrong way this whole season, but because you're fake, you're really fake. You don't like Stephanie. You don't like Adriana. I think you're scared of Adriana because Adriana will comfort that ass. And it was funny because even Andy was like, that was kind of mean what you said about the knees. Why did you say that? Because I meant it. She was like, yeah, I meant that. I was saying that to be mean. See the difference? Talking about I'm self-conscious. Girl, shut up. Shut up. The reality is you two have talked about each other, so one's no better than the other. One's no better than the other. Part 3 was probably unnecessary, but it was interesting because I did catch how Bravo brought the heat back around to Julia's ass, because when they had that second package for Gertie, Julia, you could tell it feels like crap. Not because of what she said to Gertie and how it made Gertie feel, but the response from the audience. You're an ain't shit ass bitch. Good luck to you with the rest of your life. Good luck to you, because you're going to need it. The way you move, you're going to need it, girl. Anyway, this was an interesting season. I'm curious to see how next season will go. They need to bring more new people in. Here's my thing. Marisol and Alexia, get some storylines. Get some storylines. Otherwise, we need to bring in fresh meat, because it seems like a lot of shit revolves around you two, and I'm kind of over it. Alexia, you know what? Next season will be the new man that she's dating, or if she's getting back with Todd. And Marisol will still not have a storyline, but we know she will be drunk all day. Anyway, that was my review and talking shit of all 3 parts. I still will be watching. Great show. Truly disappointed in Julia this season. I actually used to really like her. You really showed your ass. Adriana, you still a real one. Anyway, you guys, it's Sunday. Let's have a great week moving forward. Be nice to each other. Stay hydrated. And I'm going to go return these videotapes.